Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Dana. I was born and raised in Kentucky in the United States, and I make videos to help you learn English through American culture and everyday life. Yes, I think most of you watching this video are learning English, right? So let me ask you all a question about language learning. In your opinion, what do you think makes someone sound fluent in a language? What makes them sound more natural? Do you think it's their accent, the vocabulary they use, their grammar? What do you think? I think all of these things are important, but there is something else, something that makes a person sound very natural, but we often forget about, or maybe it's not the first thing that comes to mind. That is reactions. Reactions. If you can react like a native speaker, you will sound much more natural in a language. That's why today I am going to teach you some English reaction phrases or sounds that American people use every day in casual conversation. So this is casual conversation, not for business. And of course, you can use these phrases in other English-speaking countries, but here I'm focusing on phrases I often hear in the United States. Okay, I'm going to break up the phrases into a couple categories. So the first one is phrases to show you're listening, what we call active listening, very important. And next, phrases to show surprise. Oh, surprise. So when something happens that you didn't expect. And third, phrases or sounds to show happiness or excitement. These are the three sort of categories that we will look at today. So after watching today's video, you will be able to not just speak in English, but also react in English naturally. Let's start with the first type of phrase then. I have two sounds that I'm going to share with you and two phrases or words that I'm going to share with you. So number one is Well, we spell this M-H-M. Okay, we usually say it like this. Okay, that's the first sound. That shows we're listening. Number two, the second sound is uh-huh. So you're listening to someone. So we sometimes make this sound to show that we are listening to someone. That's the second one. The next two, these are words. So number three is gotcha. Gotcha. This comes from got it. Many of you have heard this phrase, right? I got it. I got it. I understand. We say when we're listening to someone, we just say gotcha. Gotcha. And number four, the last one is just yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this. Okay, it's best to mix these words and phrases when you use them, and sometimes we repeat them 2 or 3 times, like I just did. Let me show you. I'm going to pretend I'm talking on the phone, because I think we use these phrases, especially when we're talking on the phone, so the other person feels like we're listening to them, because they can't see us, right, when we're talking on the phone. So if you use these kind of filler reactions on the phone, the other person will feel kind of relieved. Okay, he's listening to me, if you use these phrases. So just kind of watch how I do it. So I'm talking on the phone. Okay, my friend called me, right? This is a casual conversation. She called me. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah? Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Something like that. There isn't a fixed order for using these sounds, but timing and frequency are important. And are just sounds, so you can use them while the other person is talking. So you say them kind of quietly while the other person is talking. That's not considered an interruption. That's not considered rude. That actually shows that you're listening. Just be careful though, if you use them non-stop, so without pausing or too loudly, it might get a little annoying for the other person, so try not to overuse them. Kind of pause a little bit maybe in between each set so it feels more natural and not too much. Then gotcha and yeah, on the other hand, these are actually words, so we usually say them in between the other person's sentences so we don't interrupt the speaker. And we especially use gotcha or yeah after important information. So maybe your friend tells you, oh, hey, I'm having a birthday party next week. Oh, yeah, gotcha. And I want you to come. Yeah, of course. So after each sentence, you can use these words. So next time you're talking on the phone with someone in English, like a friend or someone you're somewhat close to, try using these phrases a little bit. So after they say something, you say, or yeah, gotcha. Even just a little bit makes the conversation feel more natural. So give it a try when you have a chance. Next, let's look at reaction phrases to show surprise. Okay, again, I have 4 phrases. Oh, but first, before, when American people are surprised, well, I don't know, maybe in other countries too, the first thing that happens is we usually kind of gasp. Gasp means this, and our mouth, kind of opens wide, right? This face. This is our surprised face, usually. I think in general, American people have pretty big reactions. So you can have a big reaction when you're speaking English. And then we will say one of these phrases. The first phrase is, oh my God. Many of you have heard this, right? Oh my God or oh my gosh. We use both of these. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like this. And here I did want to explain a little bit the difference between oh my God and oh my gosh, or why we have 2 of these phrases. Some people feel that oh my God is a bit offensive or sounds kind of harsh. And this is especially true if they have some religious background. So you might hear people use oh my gosh instead. But many people use the oh my God version, so you can use either one. It's not really a big deal. Maybe just be careful if you're around people who are Christians or who have strong religious beliefs or faith. You might want to use oh my gosh in those situations, but you don't need to worry about it too much. And then number 2 is no way. No way. No way. Okay, we also use this when we're surprised. Number 3 is seriously? 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 Okay, when we're surprised, we sometimes say this. And number 4, this one might be a bit unfamiliar or new to some of you. The phrase is, you're kidding. You're kidding. Like this. Kidding means kind of joking or lying. It has a similar meaning to that. So you're so surprised by what the other person said that you think, oh, she must be lying or he must be joking. This can't be true. In that case, we use this phrase, you're kidding. So we use this when we hear something that's particularly shocking or unbelievable. So let me go through some examples and kind of show you how I would react in those cases. The first situation is someone jumps out in front of me. Maybe I'm walking and suddenly someone comes out and jumps in front of me. You'd be really surprised in that situation, right? So I'd say, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Something like that. So, oh my God, oh my gosh. It's a really instinctive, when something sudden happens, we often use it to show our surprise, our shock. Now, next situation. Maybe my friend tells me she's getting married. I wasn't expecting this at all. Kind of suddenly, she called me, hey, guess what? I'm getting married. I'm happy for her, but the biggest emotion I feel is surprise. So I would say, seriously? Or, no way. A little bit happy. No way. All right, so either of these work, seriously or no way. Or maybe my friend, she told me she won the lottery. She got $1 million. That's pretty unbelievable, right? In that case, I'd probably say, You're kidding. You're kidding. No way. Something like that. I can't believe it. Yeah. So for these phrases, you can, again, pretty much use them in any order or combination. You can use them together. You can put two of the phrases together, like, oh my God, no way. Or, you're kidding. Seriously? Something like this. You can also just use them by themselves. And just one more thing. Your tone really matters with these phrases. That means how your voice sounds. Some of these phrases can be used in multiple ways, in multiple situations. For example, seriously can sound excited, confused, or even a little skeptical, depending on how you say it. So make sure you have a surprised tone in your voice when you use these phrases. All right. So next time something surprising happens to you, try using one of these phrases. Right? I think it'll sound more natural. Finally, let's talk about reaction phrases that show excitement. You're excited. Yay, very positive emotion. There might be some surprise mixed into this reaction, but it's mostly excitement, okay? The first one, it's a word, but kind of a sound. So it's yes. The word yes, right? So what we say when we answer yes or no, so we say yes, but kind of stretch the sound. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you're excited. Yes. Okay, the other word is yay. So again, stretch it. Yay, 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 yes. You can use them together. Stretch the sound, that shows surprise, all right? And two phrases, or actually, sorry, three. I have a kind of extra one at the end. These are, again, very casual and common among friends. And this is kind of interesting. One of these phrases is used more by men, and one is used more often by women. So just keep that in mind as you're listening. The first phrase, which is used more by younger men, like in their teens or 20s, is let's go. Okay, but they say it like this. Let's go. Let's go. When they're excited. Have you guys ever heard that before? Especially maybe at a sports game or something like that. Let's go. Yeah, this is used a lot by young boys. It's kind of a very modern phrase. I think it's gotten popular within the past few years or so, but I hear it a lot. And the phrase that's used a lot among young girls is, this is also interesting, it's shut up. But they say it like this. Shut up. Shut up. So this can sound a little feminine, so just be aware that this is mostly used by girls, usually again in their teens or 20s. And shut up, as I said, it's a little bit weird, right? Because usually this has a very negative meaning. When someone is very annoying or rude, we tell them to shut up. But in this case, we're using it to show that we're happy. Also surprised, but it's more positive. Okay, we're excited about something. So make sure your voice sounds happy. Make sure you don't sound angry or something when you say it. And then a safer phrase. So as I said, the last two phrases are mostly used by teens or people in their 20s. So if you're a little bit worried about sounding odd or strange, this phrase is kind of safer. So I recommend this phrase. That is, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're excited. That's awesome. Wow, that's awesome. Like this. You can use this no matter your age. I think pretty much everyone uses this phrase. So let's go through some examples. Let's say you entered some competition and you won. You won a big prize. You'd say, yes, yes, I won, yes. Or, yay, what, I won, yay. Okay, you're really excited. Yep. Yay sounds a little cute, actually, more than yes. So if you want to sound cute, try to use yay. If you don't want to sound cute, maybe yes is better. Another good example, I mentioned this earlier, but that's sports. Sports. So maybe you're a guy and you're watching a sports game with your friends and the team you're rooting for wins the game. You're super excited, so you'd say, yeah, let's go! Let's go! Okay. So if you're generally speaking, you can use it if you're a girl, but I mostly hear guys saying this, so you can use it if you would like. But let's say for girls, okay? Let's say your friend won some concert tickets. She got them for free to an artist that you like, and she invited you to go with her for free. Wow. So she tells you the news, you'd say, shut up. Shut up. Really? Yes. Maybe something like that. Those are some examples that show how to use these phrases. And that actually brings us to the end of the video. To sum up, today we looked at 3 types of reactions: phrases for listening, phrases for showing surprise, and phrases for showing excitement. And these are used pretty much in daily conversation very frequently by Americans. I know it does take time to get used to these phrases, to actually react like this, because reactions are something we don't usually think about, right? They just happen. So don't worry if you struggle a bit at first. Maybe just remember one phrase from each category today and start with that. If you can react naturally, your English will instantly sound more natural too. Okay, well, thank you for watching to the end, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Bye!